Hey everyone, it's me Atom, and today we're going to talk about Secondlife and Vrchat, the differences between them, the similarities between them, as well as just would I recommend people, Secondlife, for example, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it, starting with the basics.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Second Life launched back in 2003. The game is older than some of you viewers out there, and it was way ahead of its time. Now, technically, neither one isn't really a game, since there is no leveling system, there are no missions that you need to complete in order to progress to the next one. So it's more of a virtual society, I suppose. People build cities, run businesses, host concerts, make fashion brands, roleplay, make games, and in the case of Second Life, even sell or rent digital land. So not only can you be a rentoid IRL, you can also be a rentoid in the virtual world. Apparently. The rent part probably sounds very weird for a lot of you, but don't worry, we will get into that in just a bit. Vrchat, on the other hand, launched back in 2017, and it exploded when VR headsets became mainstream and more accessible, combined with memes like Ugandan Knuckles, as well as a few more things, such as the pandemic. It became very popular. It's much more social and expressive. People meet up as anime characters, robots, furries, demons, Dexter, you name it. The main focus isn't the economy in Vrchat, it's the interaction, identity, and community. So if Second Life is a parallel digital civilization, Vrchat is more like a rave or a comedy club, and a furry convention, as well as a schizo nonsense shithole, all rolled into one. Now let's get to part 2, which is appearance.
I know, I got my shit, okay. Yeah. And then... Oh fuck, okay!
Second Life, when it's done right, uses more realistic graphics, avatars, and environments. They can look insanely high quality. Unfortunately, there is a catch, which is performance. Your performance can take quite the hit if you don't have a decent PC. You can use settings to increase your performance, but obviously that has its limits. And although for some avatars, there can be a bit of an uncanny valley feel to them, which may be a bit creepy for a lot of people, but personally, I do like it a lot. Vrchat, on the other hand, is more stylized by default, lots of anime, cartoon, and fantasy designs. However, thanks to community creators, you can basically become anything that you can imagine. In fact, if you can imagine it, someone has probably already done it. And this leads me to part 3, which is avatars and content creation in general.
Uh-oh. Stinky poop.
In Second Life, you build in-world. You can make houses, furniture, vehicles, clothing, and sell them, or in the case of houses, rent them off. There's a very real sense of economy, and some creators make actual real-life income from Second Life, as ridiculous as this may sound. In Vrchat, however, you need tools like Unity and Blender to make avatars as well as worlds, or at the very least, you need the basic understanding of Unity and Blender. It's more technical, and for me, it's a bit of a pain in the ass at times. Like, you gotta keep in mind, even though I successfully uploaded a few avatars, it took me way longer than it normally should because I do not understand Unity in the slightest. And when it comes to making a custom avatar, I can't really say a whole lot about that because I don't have enough experience or knowledge in making a custom avatar from scratch. But whenever I'm making an avatar with assets that have been already made by somebody else, I get them from the Linden store and just attach them. It is so much easier and convenient than learning Unity and Blender, which I highly appreciate. Now, as you can imagine, in a virtual society that is basically a simulation of life, player homes play a role. And in this case, I will have to give the W to Vrchat because you can make a home in Vrchat for completely free. And although it will make you have to learn Unity, you won't become a digital rentoid in the process. So it is absolutely worth it. I would much rather just take a long ass time learning how to make a home in Vrchat than having to pay money in Second Life. So I will give a W to Vrchat in this regard. In Second Life, you need either a premium membership or, once again, just become a rentoid. And mind you, not all SL homes have furniture by default, so you can imagine how much the cost adds up once you try to include furnitures. Part 4. The community and the controversies.
I can't deal with people anymore. It's just, everyone sucks so hard, you know? Everybody is so stupid. And they all walk around going, yeah, 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 yeah.
Now, unfortunately, Second Life also has a lot of significant problems, just like Vrchat, despite not being as popular as Vrchat. And I have had the displeasure of experiencing as well as witnessing some of these myself while world hopping in Second Life. Now, I'm going to separate the controversies into two categories, SFW and NSFW. Starting with the SFW controversies, accusations of unpunished theft and a lack of customer support have caused uproar amongst users, even leading to high-profile residents to leave the game permanently. Furthermore, other sources in the online world, such as riots between different social and political groups, bans on gambling, and unlicensed banking, has caused a lot of issues.
Straight away, a lot of people like to say, oh, Second Life and Vrchat are both equally as degenerate. This is not quite true. Second Life is far worse. I know that is hard to believe for a lot of you, but it really is. I wanted to show you examples. The problem is I am absolutely certain if I showed you even 5 seconds of the particularly degenerate shit that goes on Second Life, I would get nuked out of orbit by YouTube for it. So I literally cannot show you because I would get nuked in the process. I will try to include them if I can censor them just enough, even though it's very difficult. Like, there is a particular world that has a literal depiction of zoophilia on it. An actual depiction of it as the world image. How the fuck am I supposed to censor that in a way that I can show it? I straight up can't. And the fact that it already exists there is already disgusting. That shit should be nuked immediately. Problem is, the dev team could not give less of a fuck apparently. Which we will get into that in just a bit. Let me actually finish this segment first.
Let me make this very clear. The mere existence of NSFW content is not what I have an issue with. Hell no. I myself get to enjoy a few NSFW events in Second Life from time to time. It's the straight up illegal as well as morally unacceptable forms of NSFW that I have a problem with. With like the zoo and cheese pizza, let's call it. I think you know what I'm trying to say when I say cheese pizza. Anyways, let's call it that. When it comes to the child avatars, they do seem to have been dealt with to a great degree, because in my entire 1 year long of playtime, I have not come across any child avatars. I've seen minions and dwarves, but no child avatars, and frankly most worlds I enter appear to have a height limit, where if your avi is so short that it can be considered a child avatar, you get kicked immediately, automatically. And whoever came up with that, by the way, thank you very much. That is a great idea. And that is something that you will notice. The community basically has to do everything on their own, because the dev teams, for all intents and purposes, appear to have abandoned the game. Optimization is down in the gutter, and, well, a lot of the issues, the particularly significant and serious issues, just don't seem to be dealt with by the actual, like, devs of the game that have genuine power over the game. They don't seem to do jack shit. Second Life can feel overwhelmingly outdated at times, especially if you are brand new to this game. And unfortunately, the adult content part of SL has shaped its reputation greatly, even if sometimes it was a bit unfairly. But it is true that it is quite literally everywhere. You cannot escape it. You basically have to stay in recommended destinations exclusively if you want to stay away from NSFW content. Otherwise, if you go anywhere else, you're probably going to be bombarded with it. Vrchat can feel chaotic and unfiltered at times, but at the same time, it is much more social than Second Life as well. It is not as social. I'm serious, I've been to some of the most popular worlds in Second Life, and I've tried speaking with people, and well, no answer. Most people are just AFK. Or, I guess, they're just IMing each other?
I don't really know, but they are not social at all. Seriously. Second Life is not social in the slightest despite having a bunch of people in it. Overwhelming majority of users will not speak to each other. And once again with the community. A lot of people on Second Life are complete pieces of shit. Which I will say Vrchat also has that problem. Most of its average player base is either complete fucking idiots or just toxic assholes. So yeah. Now, in the end, would I recommend Second Life to players? No. Fuck no. I would not recommend this shit at all. Seriously, I do not recommend that you play Second Life. If you're looking for something similar to Second Life, just go play Vrchat. Second Life is genuinely fucking horrible. I do not recommend it. Now some of you are understandably gonna be like, wait, but Cosmic, then why do you play it? I like watching my avatars animated. That's literally it. I just like watching my avatars do movements because of the AO, animation override. Just, you know, act all lively and stuff and just watch them while listening to music. I don't know how to explain it, but I just enjoy that. Doing that while I'm writing something in the background, you know? Yeah, that's pretty much it actually. And the occasional fun times, let's call it. Otherwise, Second Life, yeah, I would not recommend it.